Hello guys, in this short tutorial I'm going to demonstrate a little technique that you can create a layering system on a single piece of geometry. But that what I mean is if you want this clothes to have the middle part to be more or less like a sticker fabric, then how do you even do that? What I have here now is a Marvelous Designer simulated clothing and with some ZBrush sculpting on it. Okay, but I wanted to then, after having all those folding detail created, I want then to give it some layering effect on it. Okay, so let's start right away. The first thing you want to do is go use the masking brush, okay, holding down Control, and underneath stroke you want to turn on this lazy mouse here, and maybe make the lazy radius a bit bigger here. Okay, and then you want to mark out where you want it to have the area, okay, an edge like that. Let me actually make the focus shift sharper. Okay, maybe a bigger brush. Alright, so my model is asymmetrical, so I'm gonna actually do it on both sides. Okay, so that's one part. It doesn't have to be quite okay when the first time you're doing it. Just mark out the area you want to have, and you can always refine it here. Okay. So I'm refining this edge now using my brush. What I want to have is this part to be popping out, okay, eventually. So maybe I need to make it look more symmetrical by refining the edge on the other side here. Okay, so I want this middle part to be popping out. I'm gonna need the same thing on the back side. Okay, shouldn't be hard to do here. Okay, so it's one and then the other one. Alright, you refine it a little bit. It's okay to go a little bit overboard over there because we can always fix those things later. Okay, so alright, let's clean up those unnecessary masks. Alright, maybe I need to fill in this part more. Okay, now with this mask, the benefit is now you don't need any brush that does have alpha. You just need to use the standard brush you can draw out to bump this part out, and it will look like it's bumping out. You can control the sharpness by changing the the contrast of the mask, of course, if you want to have a sharper change here. Okay, so I don't think I need to be that sharp, so okay, maybe a bit sharper. Alright, then I can use this standard brush to draw out across that line just to bump things out here a little bit. Okay, I can smooth that that little part. Seems like it's having some sharp line there. I just need to smooth it out. Maybe I can make the focal length something focal shift, actually something bigger, so it will have a nicer fall off when I draw it. Okay, so you want the center of the brush right on the edge, so it will have a full fall off to the side. Okay, now if you look at it, we're now having a part that is popping out. Okay, Now another benefit of doing it this way instead of using a brush that does have you know, a alpha on it, so you can draw out this kind of thing, is that now because you have this mask, you can actually just control W, and that's gonna actually mask give it a polygroup. Okay, and then what we can do is control shift and click on those, and then click on those again, and then let's do a auto group. Okay, and then we can group these back together, and now what we have is not only we have created a popping up part, but the polygroup is also there. Okay, so if you want to make further adjustments, you have this option. Okay, and notice that a brush with alpha cannot give you this polygroup here. Okay, now let's see how we can utilize this polygroup. First of all, to store it, we can actually go to polypaint, turn on colorize, and polypaint from polygroups. That way we can store that as information here. The reason for that is if you go back to lower subdivision level and go back up, your polygroup will go becomes really chunky, but you can also always go back to the polygroups, and then you can do a from polypaint, so you can get the original polygroup back. Okay. Alright, so let's go down to lower subdivision levels, and then we can actually create some UV for it. So let's go UV master, and then another benefit of having the polygroup is that you can turn around polygroup, and then do the let's actually work on clone, and you can turn around polygroup and do a unwrap. Okay, that will give you a UV, and the seam will be across right at where the polygroup is. Okay, the edge of the polygroup. Alright, let's copy UVs, go back to the original model, which is supposed to be this one, I think. No, this one. Actually this one. Okay, so go back to higher resolution. Let's go paste UVs. Let's gonna paste the UV and update the subdivision level, and now we have the UV we needed. We can check the UV, but most of the times it will be just good enough, so don't really have to check that. But you can if you're curious. Let me get the material back. Anyway, let me turn off the polypaint for now, and I'm gonna let's turn it down. Actually, let's go to polygroups, and then from polypaint, so we can get the original polygroup back, and then we can start doing something fancy now by using surface. So I'm gonna go for surface noise, and then I'm gonna load a alpha. Okay, for example, something like this. Okay, I'm gonna turn on use UV, and then I'm gonna change the strength so I can see the alpha noise. I can make it really big so I won't see it, and I can change alpha scale until I think, okay, that's what I want here, and then let's just press OK. Of course, it's gonna populate that kind of like noise, or you know, this pattern across this entire model. But what I want is just in the middle part. Okay, those popping up part, and that's when the polygroup now comes handy. So all you have to do now is Control Shift, and again, I'm not sure what that one is. Let's do the other group here then. Anyway, so what I want to do now is I want to isolate these parts, mask them, okay, and then invert the mask. So now you can see only this middle part is having the pattern now, and if the edge is too sharp or having some you know alias on it, you can of course smooth the mask a little bit. Okay, alright, and then you can either apply the noise, or you can also choose to make mask by noise. So it will mask the noise like that, and you can refine it here if you wanted to, and then when you're happy, you can then go inflate to inflate out that pattern there. Okay, and now you have a perfect pattern across this model, and other parts are really clean. Okay, so that's just one of the techniques you can populate variations across the model. Okay, so I hope this helps to enhance your workflow, and that's gonna be the entire tutorial. Okay, so thank you, and see you in the next